Hello and welcome to 100 Days, the biggest cyber attack in history. And America says the Russian intelligence service was behind it.
The Department of Justice charges 2 FSB agents who worked with criminal hackers to steal details of 500 million Yahoo accounts.
Hackers stole names, email addresses and passwords from Yahoo in the latest cyber attack that US agencies have blamed on Russia.
This indictment details how Russian Federal Security Service officers, working together with criminal hackers, conspired to plan and carry out one of the largest cyber intrusions in U.S. history.
Who tapped who? The Republican chair of the House Intelligence Committee says he does not believe President Trump's claims that his phones were tapped by President Obama. And as the US economy continues to grow, the Federal Reserve raises rates for the second time in 3 months.
Also, the polls are soon to close in the Netherlands. Trying to see off the challenge of far-right leader Geert Wilders, the Dutch Prime Minister urges voters to defeat what he calls the wrong sort of populism. Budget U-turn, the British government is forced to reverse a planned tax hike on self-employed workers. And a BBC investigation into the European lorry drivers who move goods for IKEA, among others. They're so poor they live in their cabs for weeks on end.
I'm Katty in Washington. Christian Fraser is in London. 2 Russian intelligence agents are being hunted by the FBI for their part in the biggest cyber attack in history. In 2014, the details of 500 million Yahoo accounts were stolen, including the details of US government officials.
The FBI says the Russian agents were paying and protecting 2 criminal hackers. One of the hackers, I should say, was arrested last week in Canada. The agents, seen here, worked for a unit within the FSB that was supposed to be a point of contact for law enforcement on all cybercrime matters. The acting Assistant Attorney General is Mary McCord. OK, Alex, for the moment, thanks very much. You're watching 100 Days from BBC News.
And still to come for viewers on the BBC News Channel and BBC World News, why lorry drivers moving products for IKEA and other retailers in Western Europe are living in their cabs for months at a time.
And as the new US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson arrives in Japan at the start of his tour of Asia, we'll be asking what Donald Trump can do to bring North Korea in line. That's still to come here on 100 Days from BBC News.
Hello, if you had the sunshine today, no doubt the talk will be of what a glorious wet at times, though there will be dry, brighter moments too.
Screen 1, please.
Really? It's incredibly dull and about half an hour too long.
Screen 2.
Well, it's your money, but I mean, if you pay them to make that sort of thing, they'll just make more of it.
Screen 3.
Let me give you a tip. Screen 4. It's a masterpiece. Exquisite cinematography, evocative soundtrack, and some unexpected Norwegian laughter.
Mark Kermode joins Gavin Esler to pass judgment on the week's new films. The Film Review, Fridays at 5:45 on the BBC News Channel.
Welcome back to 100 Days.
Our main story, the US Department of Justice has charged 2 Russian intelligence agents over the theft of data from 500 million Yahoo accounts in one of the largest cyber attacks in history.
And coming up, road trip movie, The Congressman, Facebook, and the race to Washington. America's new Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, has just arrived in Asia at the start of a 4-day tour of the region.
The talks, which will take place in Japan, South Korea and finally China. And of course, it is the issue of North Korea and its recent missile launch that will be top of the agenda. Okay, we're out of time, Scott.
Okay.
Will you come back and see us?
Absolutely.
We're going to join him on the Chicago trading floor next time in the cow jacket. The
We'll
cow man,
do
ladies and
100
gentlemen.
days from there. OK, Christian, I want to get to this before we go. Yesterday, we mentioned this odd couple on quite an odd road trip. Two Texas congressmen, Beto O'Rourke, a Democrat, and Republican Will Hurd, have been live streaming their journey from San Antonio to Washington. There's been a lot of political talk and a lot of donuts along the way. Let's take a listen.
You want them without glaze? Without glaze. There you go. Thank you for 400. That's a good donut.
They decided to share a car after their flights to Washington were cancelled because of the snowstorm in the northeast. They're currently rushing to make it back so they can cast their votes on the House floor in a few hours' time. That is devotion to
breaking news,
duty.
Christian. By the way,
Yeah.
their GPS apparently tells them they are going to arrive here in Washington at 6:20 p.m. That vote, it's scheduled for 6:30. If it was me driving,
I hope their
I'd
voters
be a
are
bit
watching.
nervous.
Huh? Hope their voters are watching. Brilliant. That's it for 100 Days. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. From Katty and me, goodbye for now.